Welcome to the FGTN show. It is Friday night. If you're live with us, if you're watching on the replay, really appreciate all of you. If you are in the live chat and you're tuning in, drop down in the comments, say hello. I already got Scratching with Blaine tuning in. We got Richard Indy Shorter tuning in. And I know there's a few others here as well. So thanks for tuning in. We have got a good show for tonight. I'll tell you this. I am blown away by the amount of new gear that this last week is getting announced. And so we got a busy show tonight. So first, there's actually a lot of news too. We've got a lot of topics. We're going to try to bang through them, not to waste your time. So one of the key topics we're going to talk about is just be happy that you are not in a boat right now going around Australia because evidently they seize boats and blow them up. Scientists in Norway are exploring biodegradable fishing gear. A couple things here around Minnesota. Renew your fishing license in Minnesota. That's today is the last day of your previous license. Other states, check your local regulations. Tons of cool products. In fact, the first new product that we're going to talk about later tonight, I've got a list of 8 different new products. But the first one that we're going to talk about is not only new, it's not even released yet, and it is going to be released supposedly at ICAST this year. So we got a lot of fun stuff. We got deals at the end of the show, and we've got a couple of questions too. So let's go ahead and jump in. Drop in again the comments here. Let me know who's here. Charles is here. Love seeing all these members here. Charles, we got Blaine, we got John, member for 13 months. John, always really help. I really appreciate the support of the members. It's been a long day. Let me know who's going fishing tomorrow. It's Saturday tomorrow. Anybody going fishing? I'm getting up and I'm getting out with somebody that I've been trying to get ice fishing with for a long time. And I've got to get up at 4 a.m. tomorrow to get out there. So it's gonna be a fun night. I still have to pack. Haven't packed anything yet. Got your 2025 license today. I did too, just a couple of hours ago. What up, Chad? Evening, man. All right, let's go ahead and jump in. We got a lot, and I still need to pack for a nice fishing trip. So, first topic: the Australian Border Force seizes 2 foreign fishing vessels for illegal sea cucumber haul. So, here's the gist of it. Let's blow this thing up. Why does it make it smaller? All right. Here's the picture. This is the picture of one of the fishing boats that they actually lit on fire. So this is the way that it works. The Australian Border Force, the ABF, had intercepted 2 illegal foreign fishing vessels and apprehended 12 crew members. So they got the crew off of the boats, fortunately, that were in waters off the Northern Territory coast. The interceptions were made after the Homelands Corporation Rangers reported a sighting of foreign fishing vessels near Maningrida. Essentially, they subsequently they intercepted the vessels. Upon boarding those 2 boats that shouldn't have been there, they found 1,200 kilograms of sea cucumber valued at up to 120,000 Aussie or 76,000 US dollars and fishing equipment. So they took the fishing equipment off. They took all the sea cucumbers off. They took the 12 people off, and then they destroyed the 2 boats. And they are holding the 12 Indonesian fishers detained to be brought into Darwin for investigation of suspected offenses against the Fisheries Management Act of 1991. So the vessels that were seized and destroyed, I guess, is in accordance with Australian law. I don't know here. Not everybody I know is from the US that watches this, but if you're in Canada, the US, I think that's like 85% of those of you that watch this show. I don't think you can do that here. You can just destroy them just because they've come into the water, but pretty interesting. Be careful. Know where you're at. If you're in somebody else's waters, of course, none of us will be in this situation. But I thought that was kind of crazy that they just burned the boats down. They, of course, took all of their fishing equipment, though. So at least they're looking out for themselves, I guess, right? All right. Scientists in Norway. We'll get through the news, then we'll talk about new products and then deals and then the questions at the end. So, kind of the same flow that we typically have. So, scientists in Norway explore biodegradable fishing gear to tackle plastic pollution in the ocean. So, I'm not going to read these articles to you. I will link all of this as I always do after the show's over in the comment section. I'll have it as a pinned comment as well as down in the description, both on Facebook and on YouTube. So essentially what they're doing here is there's some data in here showing that what in 2022, some people were trying to pull what they call ghost gear right out of the oceans, basically abandoned, lost, or broken off of gear, and they had recovered no less than 24 miles of Danish seine rope that was recovered. In a lot of this gear, it's made of plastic, right? These nets that are intended to stretch and be invisible. Like these things last down there for a very, very long time. And when they break down, they turn into microplastics that the fish can breathe in. It contracts their organs and their digestive system to a point where they don't eat and then they end up dying. So it's not good. Well, what they're doing is they are working on biodegradable alternatives. And like if you're like me, you're thinking like these, what are those things like the biodegradable straws that maybe some restaurants have? I've been to some places where it's like drinking out of a noodle, and if you drink out of it long enough, by the time you get to the bottom of your drink, like it turns in it's just disintegrating. And so I'm thinking like for commercial fishing off of the coast, this would be a very challenging thing. I think it's great, right? Have it biodegrade over time so it doesn't if it does break off or gets lost, it just eventually will biodegrade. But you'd think it'd be weaker. So what they're doing is they're doing a lot of tests across a lot of this stuff. Sorry, I should have zoomed in. They're doing a lot of tests on this stuff. So they're spanning temperature tests from 4 degrees Celsius to 27 degrees, so 39 Fahrenheit to 81 Fahrenheit, to compare the breakdown of different biodegradable materials against the conventional fishing gear. They're studying microbiological, UV, thermal, and chemical degradation in detail. And supposedly, they had already developed a biodegradable alternative that fully decomposes within a few years without leaving any of those microplastics. However, what they haven't tested is how does it work in all of these other environments and what can cause it to break down? Because of course, like with a degradable fishing net, they said that they've already achieved 70% of the properties needed. They need to get to that 100%, right? Because you don't want your net breaking. Otherwise, it's completely pointless if you can't even use it. So this is really cool stuff. It sounds like they're going to be doing some testing over the next several years, and there will be a lot of data coming out on it. So there is more to come on this, but I think this is all really good for the environment. This is specifically really focused on commercial fishing. So wanted to let you know there are some advances there that are happening. All right. Two things that I want to talk about that are Minnesota related, and then nothing else is Minnesota related. I know not very many people here in terms of the grand scheme of those that tune in are from Minnesota, but maybe you are interested or do fish in Minnesota. So one, I said it at the beginning, fishing license ends February 28th, 2025. So it's the last day of February every single year. You need to buy a new fishing license if you intend to fish the next day. I'm fishing tomorrow, March 1st. And so I bought mine today, my 2025 license. So make sure that you do as well. All right. The next article. This is a good reminder, and I thought this was an interesting article. So, the Minnesota DNR, there's a lot of articles out on this right now, is urging fish house owners to remove their shelters before the deadline. So every single year at the end of the ice season, there's multiple, but there's primarily two deadlines for when you have to take your ice house that you leave out on the ice. If you leave your ice house out on the ice, typically wheelhouses, skid houses, some people leave portables out. You can do that with the right shelter license on it. But it's March 3rd in like the southern 2/3 of the state. I'll scroll down. I think there was a picture in here of it. And of course, there is no picture of it in here. The southern 2/3 of the state is March 3rd at 11:59 p.m., which is coming up. And then the northern third is March 17th at 11:59. Border waters. So if you're on the Minnesota-Canada border waters, you got until March 31st. Minnesota, South Dakota, and North Dakota border waters is March 5th. Minnesota, Wisconsin is March 1st, so tomorrow. Minnesota, Iowa happened actually on February 20th. Now, okay, that happens every year. This is actually an interesting concept. I don't know how it would roll out, but essentially there is um, one bait shop owner here actually in the Twin Cities that went on the news and was challenging the DNR to say, hey, look, when we have to have people pull their ice houses off of the ice, it directly impacts bait shops. People just stop fishing, right? Because they just assume it's the end of the ice season, right? It is interesting how it usually is like it's a week after walleye season, kind of our game fish closed here in Minnesota through the ice. You can still fish um, perch and panfish like crappie and sunnies, and that's what I'm going for tomorrow is some crappie and big bluegill. But what they're saying is if we could allow people to leave their ice houses on the lake longer, you're going to actually have a better economy in better businesses in the area. So if there's enough ice like there is right now granted, we just got through a warm spell, but now it's going to get cold again. So those shoreline accesses will lock right back up. I'm sure they'll be locked up by tomorrow morning when I get out. Um, why not? Like we've got 2 feet of ice out there. Why not allow that date to move year by year as long as the ice meets certain conditions? So like this year, maybe it could be 2, 3, 4 weeks later. I think it's a really interesting concept. Hopefully the DNR is open to it. I've seen nothing in terms of them considering this at all. Obviously, it's not going to impact anything for this year, but it is interesting to see this specific bait shop owner said that 60 to 70% of sales drop when the ice fishing ends and the DNR orders shelters to be removed. So, hey, I'm a big fan of more people ice fishing and fishing, especially if it crosses the date line for needing a new fishing license. Maybe the DNR can look at it as a revenue opportunity. Most people are going to buy a new license anyways, I would think, because they're probably going to fish the next season. But anyways, all right, new products. Here we go. From the company called Deeper, a lot of us have probably heard of a company called Deeper. In fact, I will pop over to their website right here. Does this look familiar to you? The Deeper Chirp. Have you guys seen these little balls that basically float in the water and they've got a chirp sonar on the bottom and you can do some pretty cool stuff with it? Well, guess what? Deeper has come out with, in a couple of other countries, not in the US, what is called the Deeper Quest. This is an autonomous, state-of-the-art bait boat for anglers. Now, there's 2 things about this that I think are interesting. One, the whole bait boat idea, I don't know if that's I don't know how legal that is. That's kind of like chumming an area as well. I'm not 100% sure on all the regulations, and I'm sure every state is a little bit different on that or country. But there's 2 things that are interesting. One, it's a bait boat, so you can see here you can put bait in it. It allows you to then use basically a joystick on. Do they have a picture of it? This joystick right here to control it and swim it out to whatever spot on the lake that you want. You can mark a spot that you want it to go to, and it will go out there and it will drop your bait out there for you. So essentially, the idea here is that you can go and drop it out in the water, have a bunch of fish come in, and then catch the fish. The second thing that it does is you can tell it a area that you want it to scan. It has a chirp sonar on the bottom of it. This thing's wireless. You guide it out there, you say, do this area on an app on your phone, it's going to wirelessly connect, and it's going to scan and map that whole area for you and give you what the bottom of it looks like and give you chirp sonar. And this thing lasts for, I think I saw in one area, up to 7 hours. So if you think about, like, if you're a shore fisherman, a dock fisherman, a river fisherman from the shore, right? Like, this is incredible because you can actually go out and see areas where you can cast to and try to catch fish. Because unlike when you're in a boat or a kayak, right, you can't actually drive over certain areas. You got to do it from the shoreline. So I thought this was pretty cool. This is not released in the U.S. This is out in a couple other countries right now. I think it's Lithuania. I think is where this is actually being produced right now. But you can see it's down to about $1,800. This is roughly a one-to-one conversion rate for US dollars, so it's about $1,800 right now. So this is one product that I expect to, have us see a little bit at ICAST, but there's a new one as well. So let me pop that up here on the screen. Um, After I talk a little bit more about this one. So here's a little bit more about that one. So this, you can see the bait, how it can be filled up with bait. Here's a little bit more detail about it. I should have just been on this page to start with. Built-in sonar, it's got chirp sonar, it's got autopilot with 1 meter precision, so it's accurate within kind of 1 meter or 1 yard location area. 7-hour battery life, this is where I saw it. 440 yard or 400-meter reach away from you and your little joystick. It only weighs 4.5 pounds. It has an auto return to make sure if you lose connection, it's low on batteries, automatically going to return where it came from. It has active venting for like airflow and water through it. Uh, the it, it can measure the water temperature, and then it uses the fish deeper technology, of course. So here is a guy on the shoreline, and you can see, you can do an area scan where you can map out and say, I want this whole area here mapped out. And then it will go and do it. You can give it a route to drive. So you can tell it exactly where you want it to go. Like if you just want to go and have it sit in a couple of spots or go back and forth between a few spots, you can. If you want it to go and to a mark that you just want to give it, you can do that as well. So you can do routes, marks, or area scans. Talks all about what's in it. You can kind of see here, this is a bigger version of what we saw on that other screen. You can get all of this connected through your app, either Android or Apple. You've got that chirp sonar on the bottom, crisp clarity, so you can do the 2D chirp sonar, the 2D or the chirp sonar. You can see up to I thought it said how much it could dump. We'll see here. But there's a pretty big capacity in terms of bait that you can do. It's got a dry rig hopper, 7-hour battery life. We already talked about USB-C recharging. So anyways, I think for a shore fisherman, this is pretty cool. I think $1,800 is a lot of money for it. So we'll see if it comes down. But wait, there's actually something better coming out. You can get a tablet holder for it as well. One of the cool things about it is Copilot. So it has a bunch of different sensors basically built into it. So that way, if it's going through waves, it will automatically adjust so that it still goes in a straight line, which is pretty cool. And it talks more about it here. So I'll link all this down below if you're interested. Now, here is a new product that is supposed to be at ICAST this year, and I would expect for it to be in the ICAST new product showcase. I'm going to ICAST this year. I got a confirmation for my media pass, so I will be there. I just got to book my flight and hotel and all of that. It's in July this year. But this is the first product that I've heard that will be in it. This is saying it's coming in 2026 to the US, but it's supposed to be at ICAST, so maybe it'll come out a little bit earlier. It's the autonomous fishing sonar. So my understanding of this is that this is actually going to be what that previous product was, except just the sonar component of it. So it's not going to be able to dump bait, which I think is fine for most people. But look at this, for $599. Granted, $600 is still expensive, but if you think about this in comparison to the 1,800 of the other one, or what other options do you have if you're a shore fisherman? There's not a whole lot. The deeper sonar, you still got to be able to reel back in. You've got to cast it out there. This will actually swim. It says that it can go up to 490 feet from you. You have 3 different cone angles that you can choose, 7 degrees, 16, or 47. And it can go up to 330 feet deep in terms of water scanning. And you can see it's just about 5 inches by 12 inches and 3 inches tall. So those are the different beam angles that you've got there. You can still do that same spot scan on it. It can scan up to 100 by 100-foot area in just under 10 minutes, which is pretty awesome. You can see it there in the water. It's only 2.2 pounds. You've got where you can actually do the normal scanning and you can create 3D mapping out of it, which is pretty freaking sweet. Chirp sonar, 3-hour battery life, but then again, like how long do you need? You can buy extra batteries for it, it looks like. So you could always swap them out up to 5 miles an hour, USB-C recharging, auto return. So it looks like it's kind of the same technology as the other one. It's just it is just the sonar component of it. And it actually looks pretty nifty too. So if you're interested, you can go onto their website and you can reserve. I don't know what happens if you reserve. It looks like it's just an email form that you fill out. So maybe I'll do that later. We'll see. All right, moving on to a few other new products. So there's a company that typically releases pretty high end stuff. I don't have any of their stuff, but I know a few people that do. I know they're big in the fly fishing space, and it's this company. Grundens is the way that I believe you pronounce it, and they have just announced their spring and summer products that they're going to be releasing. So you can see there's a page here, 76 new products. We're not going to go through all of them, but I did pick out a few things on this site that looked pretty interesting to me. And so we'll talk a little bit about them. And again, I will link this whole page, everything that we talk about, down below as soon as the stream's over. So, first product that I saw, and I actually saw this at ICAST last year. So, ICAST 2024, this is the Tough Sun Masked Hoodie. This is a pretty cool color pattern. They've got the squall camo, the iceberg, and the mist colors. They're not super expensive. Like I've seen some of these things up to $150 for these kind of UV protective, like long sleeve. They're not sweatshirts. You can call them hoodies, but they're really like a long shirt, right? With a hood to protect you. This one looks pretty dang well designed. It has a mask built into it with these breathing holes, so that way you can still breathe through it, and it goes right down comfortable. It doesn't get really tight up against your neck. You can kind of see this color pattern looks pretty awesome. It did win best of category last year in the ICAST show, which is great. You can see some of the different color patterns. You can see what it looks like if you have it down in the back with the hood up, the hood and the mask up. And it does have thumb holes. You can kind of see here. So if you want to protect the back of your hand when you are out in the sun, you absolutely can. So that's a pretty cool product. One that I'm interested, maybe looking at getting. We'll see here in a little bit. Another product from them that's new on their list this year. I've just got this one and one more, and then we'll move to the next ones. Is the men's Vector Zip Stocking Foot Wader. I don't use waders a whole ton, but if I was in the market for waders, which I'm not, these would be a pair that I'd definitely be looking at. And I know waders get really, really expensive, and they can be really, really cheap. These are the men's Vector Zip Stocking Foot Waders. Again, a best in category winner ICAST last year. These things look pretty awesome. Let's talk about some of the features that they have that make them so unique. So first off, you've got a zipper to get into. All the waders that I have, they don't have a zipper on the front. You just pull them up and you got to kind of like skimmy on into it. Well, these have a waterproof zipper to make it really easy to get in and out, which is great. They've got a huge back pocket in the back called the hauler pocket. This has patent pending the YKK AquaGuard water resistant rear pockets, full 360-degree storage system, and you can see you can even put in a full drink if you want, your water back there. I don't know what this guy's rocking. It looks like it says Seattle. Maybe it's a iced coffee or something like that. I'm not sure. And then one of the other cool things is it's got a tippet pocket in the front. So this is like basically a pocket that has 3 little holes in it. Let me see if I can get a better image of it here. Of course, he's blocking it right there. But they have holes right in the front, so that way you can actually. Can I zoom in? Ooh, I can. So you can actually feed line directly through it. So if you wanted to tie off and get a little bit more line to rig up when you're out there. So pretty cool. 650 bucks, definitely rich to the taste, but if you are a fly fisherman, you'll know if it's right for you or not. But I wanted to show you because I thought they actually look like really good quality high-end waders. The last thing from them that I wanted to talk about is the Grundy's Thermal FZ hoodie. Um, I am a big fan of zip ups. I'm a huge fan of them. This one has that mask built into it, the full zip up. You've got the breast pocket, and then you've got the pockets on the sides as well. The face mask goes actually back in the hood, so it's out of your way when you're not going to be using that. And then, like we had said, it's got the zippered hand warmer pockets and that chest storage pocket. What's kind of cool about it is it looks like it's really high-end quality gear and at full price $99.99. So hopefully this goes on sale and we can get a good deal on it too. So all right. One of the topics now I think that a lot of people are waiting for is this one right here. So St. Croix has announced and released their ice rod collection for the 2025 season. And I don't know if, okay, we will make it work at that size. So let's go ahead and pop on in here. We've got a lot of table of contents here. All right. So they've got their Croix custom ice. And so you're going to see the different St. Croix custom ice blanks that they have, the materials. So they have solid carbon. They're just telling you about what they are. And then they show you, I know this is hard to see, what rods that they offer that they feature this blank in so that you can kind of see how everything makes sense. So they've got the solid carbon, the glass, the tubular carbon glass, and a tubular carbon fused to glass. And they tell you what it's really good for. Again, these are ice rods. So if you're an ice fisherman and you like St. Croix, this is something that you would like to know. You can see the handle measurements. So they're really breaking it down for you. Pick out the rod blank that you want. Pick out the butt that you want and the handle, right? And the length and all of those things. And then from there, you can go ahead and build out your custom rod. So pretty cool here. They've got your blanks, the guides, the reel seat, and the handle options available for you. All right. Then they've got their Scandic line, which has the solid carbon blank. The guides, they have two different ones. They've got the primary ring material, which is stainless steel, and the primary frame material, which is stainless steel. It's the same guide. It's just the inside and the outside of it. They've got the reel seat. So it's nylon, and stainless steel. And then the handle is a cork and a cork composite handle. And you can see exactly what those look like and what they have available for you. And look at these prices. Like these are priced at a not cheap, but a good quality rod. I mean, you can get like a clam rod, for instance, or like 13 fishing, right? Or Fraybill even has rods that are mass produced at this price point. So pretty good deal. I know that this is their more budget friendly line from them, but that is that one. So then they've got their Legend Black. This comes with a 1-year warranty, all American made here in Wisconsin. So solid carbon. I'm not going to go through all the details here, but one of the options that this one upgrades you to is the ability to do the different spring bobbers on it. One thing that I like about their spring bobbers is that you can put the spring bobber on and take it off. It's not always on or always off, like when it's fused to the actual blank itself, which I really appreciate. And then, holy smokes, I am screwing stuff up here. I zoomed out far enough to where it started flipping pages when I was zooming. And then you can see what is available here. They've got two different lengths, 24 and 30. And then they've got the different powers available. And those are all $80 to $85. All right. Then they've got their Mojo Ice that you can see available here. And then those come in the 24, 28, 32, 34, and 36. They've got their panfish ice combo. So this is where you're going to start stepping up into getting some of the reels. Again, 1 year reel, 1 year rod warranty, and you can see all of the options available. We'll be here all night if we were to step through this one by one. I don't typically use St. Croix rods. I've got, I think, 1 or 2 of them, but I don't use them a whole ton. So I'm not going to be your expert here, but I want to make sure that you know this is available for you to jump into if you want to. And then their what they call their Premier Series is these ones right here. This is a Premier Series ice combo. And look at the prices on these. 75. I know it's hard to see. Let's zoom in. 75, 80, 80, 85, 85. So like these are actually pretty dang good prices. These are not like the super high-end prices that when somebody sees St. Croix, they're typically expecting. That's where when you get into these custom ones, that's where those prices are really going up, right? Because again, these are just for blanks that we're talking about here on the custom side. So if you want to go custom, you're going high end with St. Croix. Otherwise, they do have some pre-built ones where you do have a lot of different options available uh, to save a little bit of money, but still get a quality rod. All right. Whitewater. You may have heard of them. I've never used their stuff. I'm hoping that they're at one of these upcoming fishing shows that I'm going to be going to, and I might be picking up a pair or two of a couple of their things, buying them, of course, just like you guys would. But I really want to try them out because I've heard a lot of good things about them recently, and they look like they have very high end stuff. So if you've heard of them, that's primarily who I'm probably going to cater this messaging to. Um, well, 2 things. These jogger pants look awesome. These are the what kind of one of the things that I'm looking at. The second thing that I wanted to really make sure that you know is if you know about this brand and you've been wanting to get bibs from them, but you don't want to spend $270 on them, check this out. They've got the Great Lakes fishing bib in shade color, $99.99, 63% off. Normally $270, and they have them in the other colorway as well, which is right here. The whatever colorway this one is, charcoal, they've got for the same price, $100 for these bibs. These are not float bibs, but these are really intended to be. You can use them in the winter, you can use them in the spring, you can use them in the fall. They're supposed to be really nicely fitting, so they don't feel bulky like your ice fishing bibs maybe do, and they're going to protect you from rain and water a lot better. And they're just supposed to feel really light and nice on you, but keep you warm as well. So if you're interested in whitewater products, um, maybe you're going to want to see what they got. And then they've got a bunch of new things on their website too, such as those jogger pants that I talked about. So yeah, check them out. All right, couple more new things here. Acme. So they have announced from their Reef Runner Lures line and their Kalen's Fishing some of the new stuff for this year. So the Flash Shad. They've got some new colors this year. This is the Reef Runner Flash Shad, $11.99 a piece. These are not on sale. These are just announcing their new gear for this year for the open water season that they're releasing. So they got the TF6 and TF7. You can see what that is in terms of dimensions, weights, and size. And then you can see all of the colors that are available. Again, I'll link this down below in case you want to check it out. And you can click on any of these and it'll take you right to their website so you can shop their selection as well. They've got the Flash 800 Deep Diver. I'm going to grab a drink here. So much talking. The Flash 800 Deep Diver, if you're interested in those, then you can kind of see here, these are $10. Not my style of bait of choice, but I know there are a lot of people that do like these, and you can see what's available there. They got the show jig, which I'm excited about this year. I'm a huge fan of the Acme, the Google Eye jig. And so this one kind of takes it to that next level, bigger profile, bigger size, more light reflection that you're going to get off of it. I think I picked up a couple of these last year and a couple of the simple color patterns that they have. This year they came out with some more, and they are $8.99, and you can see the 3 different sizes they come in. This may be my go-to. My go-to jig for open water is typically the Northland Tackle Fireball jig. Absolutely love them. both the short shank and the long shank. I actually prefer the short shank more than the long shank, but depending on the size of the bait and the water that you're in, sometimes you like to go with that long shank, especially if you put a skirt on it or something like that. But these are going to be fire. I'm definitely picking more of these up this year. And then they got more supposedly coming out soon. So that's what they've announced from these brands that you can see here so far this year. All right, next up is Cashin. So Cashin Rods has introduced a new rod. This is supposed to be a premium rod for the person that's on a budget, but it's not a lower grade rod. They're still advertising this as one of the best rods in the market that even professional tournament fishermen could and do use, supposedly. It's $129.95, which if you know open water rods, you know for higher end rods, that's a great deal. Yes, you can get rods way cheaper than that, and you can get rods into the thousands of dollars. Absolutely. At $130, it's worth. I'm going to pick one up. I'm going to buy it just to see how it compares to some of the others that are out there. So it's called the Element Z2. I'm going to pop over to their page in just a second here. But what I wanted to show you here is their statement. The Element Z2 series is supposedly the most affordable American-made rod on the market. And that's kind of what they're standing behind. If you watch this video or any of the other videos that they've got, they kind of really talk about how this isn't just for somebody that's trying to buy a rod on a budget, but this is for professional fishermen as well that do tournaments. So here is the Element series. So this is the Element Z2. So you can see they've got several different rods up here in terms of casting rods. So you can see they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. And then they've got 4, it looks like, spinning rods available as well. All of them at $129.95. I'm a big spinning reel guy. And so I will probably be picking up a drop shot rod, maybe the multi-purpose, maybe the Ned rig. I don't do a whole ton of flipping. Maybe I'll just get the multi-purpose and see how that does. I don't know. But let me know what you think. Do you think $130 for one of these rods? Does anybody here have a cash-in rod? I know they've really been kind of an up and coming over the last couple of years. All right, let's keep moving. We've still got a lot of things here to go through. So cast fishing, this is another thing that I'm really excited about. I don't talk a ton about lures, but I'm actually really excited about this. This is the Cast Fishing Echo. It's a 2.75-inch bait. And I specifically chose this color because what do you see here? This is a plastic, soft plastic bait, right? You throw the hook through it. What do you see? There's a glass rattle in it. How awesome is that? It's 2.75 inches. They've got in this series, the Echo series, they do have a 3.5 and a 5.4 inch as well. The 2.75 is going to be perfect for crappie and when you have really finicky or lethargic bass. The 3.5 and the 5.4 are really intended for bass fishing. And then you can pair it up with one of these Queen tungsten rollin' strollin' jig heads that they recommend here, or the LS tungsten jig head. And then what you'll do, or the underspin, you can put an underspin on it too. And you just basically thread this on there. And I will show you exactly what I'm talking about here. I'm going to take a drink. I'm going to let this play for like 15 seconds on this guy right here, and then I'll be right back with you. But he's going to talk about how you can even use this for crappie fishing.
You don't have to do with this bait. Another great feature of the 2.75 Cast Echo is the glass rattle inside. On your live scope, that glass rattle makes this small bait pop, so you can still make a 100-foot cast and see this bait. You can take the glass rattle out, you can put a tungsten nail weight in and have an awesome hover rig ready to rock. This will not only be a staple for my clients and customers, but this is going to play a huge role in my upcoming tournament season.
So pretty cool new product. I'm really excited about it. They're not super expensive either, which is kind of nice. So it's $8.99 for an 8-pack. Again, they're plastic, so they probably will get used up, but they do have the 3 different colorways. They've got the Titan, the Ether, the Ozark, and evidently they have 4 colorways. They've even got the blueback herring. So the Titan is the new one that it looks like I might need to grab before they sell out. So there we go. That's one of the new products from Cast Fishing. All right, next up, another new product. See what I mean? Like so many new products coming out. Of course, you can see like, yes, a ton on ice fishing. Well, yes, some on ice fishing, but a ton on open water as well. So introducing the Minnow and the Ring Roller Jig Head. So this is the guy right here. You can see it right here, how it flops around in the water there. That is essentially the point of this bait. So it has this ring that goes through the eye of the jig head that allows it to kind of flip back and forth, which is great, which gives it a ton of action. And then it's got that plastic minnow body. So this is the ring roller jig head and the minnow body. And so if you scroll down, you can see that you can get the minnow. They've got a 3.5 inch and a 4.5 inch, and then the ring roller jig head that come in the 3-pack. So if you are interested on biz baits, you can hit the link down below and pick it up. So you got a 2-aught hook on the that they recommend here for the 3.5, and then a 4-aught hook that they recommend for the 4.5. And you can see the heads are available in sizes of 1/8 ounce, 3/16, and 1/4 ounce. Another bait that I'm interested in and maybe picking up. This is probably not one I'm going to order online, but if I just happen to see it in the store, maybe I'll grab them. All right, Mustang Survival came out with a new PFD, a new inflatable life jacket this year. It is the Atlas 190, which is designed for comfort, built for survival, which is pretty awesome. This is intended for offshore. It is like the peak high end of products that they have here. So it's called the Atlas 190 DLX Hammer Life Jacket. You can get it in the red and black color pattern, and then you can get it in all black as well. Some of the features, you can see it has like that ultra glow, what they call the adapt technology, optimizes airway protection and turning. It's got bladder lobes, turn the wearer's face up, baffle barriers to deflect waves, and a 3D pillow that maintains the ideal face angle. Superior comfort, designed to perform. They've gotten a lot of awards. They've got their hammer inflator technology, which is great. I have several of their life jackets and I absolutely love them. And they are ISO certified as well. I think if we click shop now, we should be able to, yes, we can see the black and then the red black that we were looking at. 370. So you can see this is no joke. But one thing that I thought was pretty interesting about this product is if this video plays, here we go. So we'll mute this, is this right here. So he has it inflated, right? And what you can see here is how inflated it is. I think it's what 42 pounds of buoyancy. You can see it's got the pillow. So the idea is it's going to flip you up even if you're unconscious. So that way your airway is open. But check this out. Yeah, you've got a lifting bucket built into it. You've got a strobe light. You've got a whistle. You've got an inflator. But check this part out right here. If you're out in the ocean, you're going to get hit by a lot of waves, right? Well, guess what? It's got an integrated spray hood that prevents secondary drowning that you put right over the top. How awesome is that? And there's enough area for air to come in and out of the side. So anyways, if you're interested in getting a new life jacket and you want the top of the top of the top of the line, that could be the one for you. All right. I think I don't know if this is the last new product, and then we're going to get into deals next, or maybe there's one more after this. So this is the Z-Man Shadtron LT. This was announced last year. This thing is pretty awesome and unique. This is the award-winning line through swim bait. They say award-winning because yes, this was award-winning at ICAST as well last year as well. But this is what makes it really unique. This little animation right here. This is the head of the bait. You can either go straight through it down, or your line can go straight through it and out the top. What does that mean? Your line goes through it, and then you tie your hook through. on the other side. So you don't have a jig head or anything like that that's got to go through it. You literally have it in the bait, and then you can see that it stays on through the mechanism that's in there, and then your hook goes right into it. So the way that this looks to the fish is just like this. And the line's just in it. It's not tied to a jig head. It's not tied to something on the front of it. And the hook is a part of it. It is separate. So pretty cool. Might have to try these out this year. It's supposed to give you a lot better action and hopefully some better hookups in it as well, which is great. All right. Yeah, now we're on to deals. So Northland Fishing Tackle. This isn't maybe probably the best deal I've ever seen, but there's a little secret to Northland Fishing Tackle. And to be honest with you, most of these sellers, these manufacturers have these deals going where if you go to their website the first time that you're there, and then especially if you're on a computer, and then you scroll to the top or you hover your mouse off of the screen, usually you get a pop-up that says, get 10%, 15%, 20%, $10 off your first purchase if you enter your email. Highly recommend that you do that because you just get to save more money. You can always just unsubscribe from their email if you want to. But this is the River Jig and Plastics Kit. This is only $16 off. So it's like 10% off, which it's 10% off. It's not bad. But the reason why I brought this up is you can get another deal if you're do the thing that I told you about. I think you get an extra 10% off. But the reason why I wanted to say it is not because you're saving a ton of money, but because this is actually a pretty dang solid kit. I was just looking at this and I'm like, out of the things that I would buy from them, as you think about like river jig and plastics, or even lake fishing in plastics, right? Or dock fishing in plastics and casting, like these are the things that I would probably look to get. And they're all in one kit. You get the black of the jigs that I would highly recommend. You've got the new stand-up jigs from them, which are pretty great. You've got some of the ones with the skirts, the hair feathers on them. You've got some plastic. So these are actually pretty awesome. So if you're interested in picking them up, and these are the eye candy minnows that were super successful and super popular last year as well. So if you're interested, go ahead and check them out. I'll have them linked down below. Fish USA, they've got deals every single day. Today, what they got going up until midnight, so another hour 15. Otherwise, there'll be new ones that come out, is buy two, get one free on several different products that you can see here, including some of the Northland Tackle stuff. All right. Couple other things. So these are a brand I've never heard of. I have a feeling it's just like some knockoff brand, but the price is right. So if you're looking for some nice warm gloves, these have really good reviews on them. I'm likely going to pick up a pair here. These are the Gordini Men's Gore-Tex Storm Glove. They're from Amazon. So what's great about Amazon is you buy them, and if you don't like them, you just return them and get all your money back, which is great. They've got a lot of different colorways here that you can get. $59.22. These are 21% off. I will link them down below if you want to pick these up. These have the kind of that leather insole. They've got the really nice backing, and everybody says that they are very, very warm, which is great to see. Next up, we've got, if you're in the market for a fishing net, whether you're fly fishing, kayak fishing, boat fishing, shore fishing, they've got three different sizes here. This is the Placino floating fishing net. It floats. It's actually a pretty good quality net based off of what people are saying. And look how cheap this thing is. $20. You can get, granted, smaller size. It's 11.8-inch hoop size. So you can step up to the 19.7-inch hoop size, $38.80. It's not on sale, but dude, this is already a good deal for it being floating in a pretty good quality product. I have a lot of different things from Placino. It's an Amazon brand, right? Well, I don't know if it's owned by Amazon. I don't think it is, but it's a brand that you only really buy from Amazon. I use it for my rod racks. I use a lot of their products, and they're actually pretty dang good products. So if you're interested, check it out. They've got them in blue and yellow, and it looks like, hey, the yellow is actually a couple bucks cheaper. So check it out. I'll have it linked down below if you're interested. Next up, there's a few places right now that have the Eskimo Outbreak shelters on sale. Amazon right now has got tied with the best deal on the Outbreak 650 XD, which is $565.99, which is $115 off. It looks like right now, which is actually a pretty dang good deal. And they are tied right there in place with Shields at that same price point. So you can pick it up from either of them. And then you can get the 850 XD right now. It is $100 off at Shields, and the 450 XD, which is they're smaller than the 650, $50 off right now from Shields as well. Amazon also has the Huck Icon X hoodie, fishing shirt with sun protection for men. So here's normal price $60, kind of in line with what we were looking at before, and it's $42.52, currently on sale at 29% off. My guess is because these are last year's colors, which is why we're seeing these deals. But if you like these, you picked some up and you want to get a couple more, or you need a couple sun shirts this year, 30% off is a pretty dang good deal. So check it out. All right. Two questions that we have tonight. So we got a person here asking some questions around glow jigs, struggling to find that they don't last super long, and they're trying to figure out what is the best glow charger that we got. So there is a company called Venom Fishing. Venom Outdoors, I think, is actually what they go by, and they have the little nightlight jig glower with, I think it's AAA or AA batteries that go in it. Looks like just a little flashlight. I will link it down below. That is the product that I recommend. I think for the price point, I think it's like $15, $13 or something like that. It is the best out there, bang for your buck that I've seen. I'm a huge fan of the glow lights that are in the HD Innovation Shuttle and the Summit Shuttle. So if you have a live imaging shuttle, those glow lights are awesome in those as well. But if you're looking for a portable one or you don't have one of those, this little guy is great. I've got a couple of them that I use whenever I'm going somewhere and maybe don't have my shuttle with me. Next up is question number 2 for the night. I heard the starting price for these being the Ping Live sonar, it's going to be about $1,200. Why not buy a used live scope or an Eagle Eye 9 for the price? It's a really good question. So the Ping Live sonar is supposed to be 1,500 Canadian when it comes out. That's about $1,000 US. Now, that is the same price as the Eagle Eye 9, right? And so I had another guy ask me, what would you do? Because they're the same price. Buy the Ping Live sonar or the Eagle Eye 9. I'll tell you what, I got a new Ping Live sonar in the mail because I had some issues with that first one that you probably saw in this video if you saw it. Supposedly those problems are fixed. I have not tried it yet. Maybe this weekend, highly doubt this weekend I'll be able to try it. Maybe next weekend I'll try it out. But if those problems are fixed and it performs better, I would slightly edge towards the Ping. But as of right now, because I cannot guarantee the status of the Ping Live sonar right now, I believe it's going to leapfrog the Eagle Eye 9. But right now, Lowrance is a big company, and they've done their work on the Eagle Eye 9. Now, the Ping Live sonar, there's so many benefits above and beyond the Eagle Eye 9, but that screen clarity and some of the issues that I was having with it, until I know that they're fixed, hey, wait a week and a half, and I'll tell you for sure, which is probably going to be when it's not even going to, Ping Live sonar won't be out yet. So stay tuned to the channel, and I will give you an update on what I think you should do. And maybe I'll do a side-by-side comparison of the two. But right now, if I had to buy right now and both were available and they're the exact same price, which we think they will be, I'd go Eagle Eye 9 right now, just because I don't know where the Ping Live sonar is currently with their release product, because I was using an alpha testing unit, right? So cool. That is the show for tonight. Gordini is how you pronounce it. Popular for skiers. Good to know. Good to know. Is there a place to put my line on it so I can troll with it? Haha. Good one. All right. Well, thank you all so very much for tuning in. As always, if you have any extra questions or anything, feel free to drop them down in the comments or down in the description of all of the videos. There is a link to submit questions to potentially be featured here at the end of the stream every single week that we do it. Hopefully, everybody that gets out tomorrow fishing catches a new PB. That's the goal. And stay safe out there. Some of the ice is starting to get a little bit sketchy towards the shoreline. So be safe. Tight lines. Until next time, take it easy.